Once again, we have Nick Delahanty exposing a scam by the Irish government, paying too much money for something. Of course, first of all, we had the bike shed that was €335,000 for a little tin roof that doesn't even stop your bike getting wet. Then we also had a security hut, I believe it's called, that cost €1 million for a little tiny building for a security hut. And now, what do we have, guys? We have a new entrance to Deer Park in Mount Merrin at a cost of €753,528,000, built by Actavo Ireland Limited. Works included new steps, a ramp, railings, stone wall, paving and landscaping to improve safety and accessibility. Much needed improvement, but I think it's fair to ask, why does an entrance to a park cost €750,000? And I can tell you for a 100% fact, this is a money scam. This is a money grab. And of course, a day after Nick Delahanty exposed this, the mainstream media has to copy him and also start talking about it. So now it says, Dún Laoghaire Rathdown County Council's decision to spend €353,000 on a new entrance to a park has been derided as just extortionate by a planning expert. So a planning expert came in to actually understand how could it cost so much, and he calls it extortionate. When people now enter Deer Park and Mount Merrin, they are greeted with 14 steps and handrails and a ramp. €700,000 was paid to the contractor for the work, while an additional €6,000 was spent on tree protection measures, as well as a further €5,000 on heritage sign design and manufacturing. 100% another scam by the Irish state. Why would you need to pay €700,000 for 14 steps? This is crazy stuff. This is people just embezzling money like mad.
It's a set of steps with a handrail and a ramp, and it cost €750,000. Have we lost the plot, is what I am wondering. A South Dublin local authority spent €750,000, €750,000 on the construction of a new entrance to a park, which consisted of 14 steps and a ramp at the suburban park in Mount Merrin, and construction works to renovate Deer Park were needed due to problems with accessibility, the Dún Laoghaire Rathdown County Council has said. Do you know what it is? When you're spending other people's money, it burns a hole in your pocket and nothing seems too much.
It is wildly excessive. You're dead right. Let's call it Deer Park. 753,000 for 14 steps. Now, I know that does include additional work, and the purpose of the contract was needed. The park was not accessible, and we need to comply with our accessibility laws, and we needed to remove the steps, and the steps that were in place were not fit for purpose and did not comply with accessibility rules. I do think people have lost the run of themselves. Like, the civil engineering part of the contract is 700,000 on its own.
And you know that the people, the engineers that are building this, are like, as soon as they hear a contract coming in from the government, they start just getting overwhelmed with joy because they know they're going to rip off the government. They know if the government is spending this money on this kind of thing, they can just charge them whatever. You know, these contractors and these guys, they're cowboys, guys. They'll just charge you anything. €700,000 for 14 steps. Like, and nobody looks into this. This guy who built this should be sued. The contractor of this should be absolutely sued, guys. They should be looked into and flipping criminally taken to flipping court, because this is obviously a scam. How can you charge that much money for flipping 14 steps? You know, did he just extend the period of time that he was working on it? You know, he probably did one step every few months, and that's why it took so long. And I had to bring in different people, and I had to actually use different materials, and they're just scamming the flipping government, guys, these contractors. And then the government don't give a shit. They don't even look into it. They're like, okay, just sign off on it. Like, this is crazy. If someone brought me a bill of €700,000 for these steps, I would say, no, we're going to take you to court first. This is crazy. We're not paying that much money for steps. We're going to pay you €10,000. Anything that costs more than €50,000 like this, it's a scam. A whole house doesn't cost €700,000, like most houses. What the hell? Where are they getting this number from? They're just pulling numbers out the flipping sky, guys.
Traffic signalling and works equipment is 41,000. Protection of trees, that was 6,249. The whole lot of it seems overpriced. And at what point did the procurers sit down and say, okay, these are the bids that we got in, but it is unreasonable for us to pay this. Let's cancel the competition. We're not obliged to go ahead with these contracts just because they came in, and redo it.
And you know as well, they're getting uneducated people on this. Maybe they're young women that don't know what the hell about building. Like even me, guys, I'm not even a flipping big builder, but even I would question this stuff. I'd be like, what the hell? Why is they signing off on €700,000 for a contract to build a few stairs? Like, this is crazy. Like, you'd have to look into it. Don't sign off on the contract straight away. You know, ask around. Like, this seems like they're going with the highest bidder. Like, this is crazy. So on to other news stories in Europe. This is actually the worst headline I have ever read in my entire life, I believe. This is 25th of November, so yesterday. A sex attack horror as young Italian couple are surrounded by 3 migrants who smash into their car and force the boyfriend to watch as they brutally sexually assault his 18-year-old fiancée. So, like I said, the worst headline of all time. I can't actually even show you on YouTube because YouTube will censor this. It says, the man was held down and forced to watch as migrants who smashed into his car sexually assaulted his 18-year-old fiancée in Italy, according to the police in Rome. The couple had parked in a quiet corner of Torre Terre Teste, a park in the eastern part of the capital, for privacy, minutes before they were surrounded by the group of people who attacked the vehicle. Police said the attackers broke the window and first pulled out the man, who was 24-year-old, from the car before forcing the woman out as she tried to cover herself with an item of clothing. The man told cops he was restrained by the 2 attackers as his fiancée was dragged a short distance away. As she was sexually assaulted, he screamed for help, begging them to stop, even threatening revenge, but was unable to break free. After the attack, the 3 perpetrators fled the scene. The couple, both Italian, then contacted the police and filed a report. According to the authorities, the couple was terrified and confused. Cops also added that it was possible that there were up to 5 attackers involved. So 5 men did it, basically. They say 3 to 5 men, okay? So these are gang sexual predators now. We have gang sexual predators roaming around Europe. Officers have since arrested 3 Moroccan men on charges of gang sexual assault and robbery. 2 were traced by officers from Rome's flying squad unit and detained only days after the October 25th attack, and the 3rd was picked up in Verona a few days later. Investigators say the arrests were kept quiet while they continued gathering evidence. Completely 100% disgusting. So this is a general view of the Torre Terre Teste park in the eastern part of the capital where the attack took place. You guys can see it's pretty desolate. Okay, there's not many people around to actually help them, call for help. Just the most horrific attack I've ever seen in the world. And this is again the same as the City West attack in Dublin. A 26-year-old migrant who should have been deported months ago end up sexually assaulting a 10-year-old girl. They don't care what age these people are. They just sexually assault anyone, women, kids. It doesn't matter to these people from North Africa and these war-torn parts of the world. They don't give a shit, guys. They're complete criminals. It says fingerprints lifted from the shattered window matched the men who had been arrested, according to the investigators. So they took fingerprints from the car. Officers said during the attack began as a robbery as the couple's belongings were taken for the assault, and the attackers believed to known as drug dealers. Confirmed by police, they are still looking whether additional men were involved, and they said that the investigation isn't closed. In November last year, Italian Prime Minister Giorgia Meloni linked migrants, particularly undocumented ones, to the country's increase in sexual violence and sexual assaults. Before she was elected, she posted a gruesome video of a woman being sexually assaulted by a migrant on a pavement in Picanza. That's it, guys. We know that there's a clear link between undocumented migrants and crime. Absolutely. You can't even question that anymore. That is 100% the truth right there. In February 2024, a helpless 13-year-old girl was brutally sexually assaulted for half an hour by a group of Egyptian migrants in Catania after she was dragged into a public bathroom. She claimed 2, both minors, sexually assaulted her as the rest of the gang restrained her. In another case in October 2024, an asylum seeker had allegedly been impregnated a 10-year-old girl. A 28-year-old migrant from Bangladesh is said to have attacked the girl in a migrant center in Lombardy. So he impregnated a 10-year-old girl, 28-year-old. Do you know how sick and sadistic? These people should all be shot. These people should be flipping given the death sentence. This is like beyond horrendous. In May this year, a pair of Algerian asylum seekers were jailed after they lured teenagers aged 14 and 15 into an abandoned building before plying them with ecstasy, holding them at gunpoint, and sexually assaulting them in Austria. The younger girl suffered several injuries and she had bruises along her ribs. Back in 2019, Ali Bashir, a failed Iraqi asylum seeker, was sentenced to life behind bars for the sexual assault and murder of a 14-year-old girl in Germany. This is all mainstream news. This is all from the Daily Mail, guys. This is all mainstream news now and people are getting upset, and you should be upset. You should be upset about these people coming into the country, brutally attacking our men, women, and children, and not caring about it, not getting any sentence, and the Irish government doing nothing about it. You, the Irish public, should be upset and pissed off about that, guys. You know, and you should be voting for change on this. Okay, don't go crazy and be going violent, attacking people. No, we need to convert as many people as we can in this country to more right-leaning, more conservative. That's it. That's how you make change, guys. We're going to vote on change, bring in somebody who's more right-leaning into this country. That's it. We cannot allow this bullshit to happen anymore. Another breaking news story. This is a man who announced yesterday he's back in the country after doing this a year ago. So he made this stupid video lying on someone's grave, and he was making a TikTok videos in a cemetery. He's lying on his grave, mocking him being dead. This stupid guy. And he announced yesterday on a video on TikTok that he's back in the country. Look at this. You can see he's back in the country here. The migrant who fled the country after desecrating a woman's grave has posted footage after showing he has returned to Ireland. The woman, Joan Masterson, excuse me, not John Masterson, Joan Masterson, he's desecrating the grave of this lady. I mean, how disgusting, guys. These people are assaulting us, killing us, and then they're mocking us by sitting and lying and sleeping on the graves of our loved ones. We shouldn't be accepting this. But of course, we have legends from Hungary, Slovakia, Czech Republic, and Poland that aren't accepting this. And in this video, we have Viktor Orbán exposing a 2015 article by George Soros, a Hungarian-born US financier and a founder of Open Society. So in that piece, Soros wrote, the EU has to accept at least 1 million asylum seekers annually. And this is all the destruction of the country, guys. Why the hell we would take 1 million people per year? No way. Disgusting. Absolutely not. We shouldn't be taking anybody.
I do remember how Mr. George Soros published his plan in English in a Project Syndicate publication. It was done 2015, September 26. And he published a plan. He said that he is I'm quoting, he write the 6 components of my comprehensive plan. I just quote 2 or 3 points of that. First is, he said very clearly, 2015, that, quoting again, EU has to accept at least 1 million asylum seekers annually. That was the first point. Second, he said, adequate financing is critical. And he proposed to issue long-term euro bonds for financing the migration crisis and the migrants' social and welfare taking care when they arrive to the European Union. And another point which is very important for Hungary, which is involving the territory of Hungary directly into this program, he said that, quoting them, safe channels must be established for asylum seekers, starting with getting them from Greece and Italy to their destination countries, which means to bring them to Greece, to Hungary, and then have them to go to Oslo. So don't forget that what we are speaking about is not an accidental stories, not a bulk of 10 years of accidental stories. It's a plan which is going on. It was written.
I love that. This isn't a flipping conspiracy theory. This isn't accidental. This is planned. This is 100% planned by George Soros. He's explaining it right here. Viktor Orbán is a legend, okay? A legend. And I'm proud to say that my auntie is Hungarian as well. I believe my mum's brother's wife, my auntie-in-law, is 100% Hungarian. Hungarians are legends, guys. Really smart people. They have the most Nobel Prizes, I think, in any country.
It was published. It's known. So we are fighting against an organized gang called Empire of George Soros, and NGOs who are just supporting everybody who is transgressing our legal system and our regulation and financing illegal activity against our nation. So this is why the story is not just about migration, but it's about how this European Union is working and how George Soros was able to captive the main positions inside many institutions of European Union, buying out MPs and other leaders, and in order to execute the plan which is written, and it's against all the Christian and nation-based political forces. It's against us. It's about how to change Europe and how to eliminate and push aside all the Christian, conservative, national-based political leaders and voters from the European Union decision-making bodies.
Absolutely amazing. They're just trying to flood in, destroy Europe. They're trying to destroy these Christian countries. And it's a plan. It's 100% a plan. We've all known this. This isn't a conspiracy theory. This isn't someone just made this up. This is 100% a plan. Let me know your thoughts. If you guys want to support me, hit the join link underneath the video. Become a member for just €3 per month so I can help push back against the mainstream media and the woke Irish government and all this bullshit that's spread by these liars, and help try and convert the Irish public into a more conservative, right-leaning ideology, because this woke ideology on the left is going to kill us all. It's a death cult. Hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.